Good afternoon, investors. It's W from W Investing back to help answer any questions about the Apple stock and the Apple earnings report that will happen after the bell on Tuesday, April 24th, 2012. Apple's been a huge name for anybody invested in the stock market in the last, honestly, 5 or 6 years. I can remember when it was down at $15 a share and it recently broke $6.25. That being said, we're not worried about past results. We're worried about future growth and future gains. A few weeks ago, I asked the question on Google+, has Apple topped? I'll put a link to that in the video information below this YouTube video, and you can post your own opinion or you can argue or whatever you want to say. I kind of displayed some points as to why I think Apple has topped. But, we're more worried about the earnings report today. Here's the current chart over the last few months, and as you see, today it's dropping below its 50-day moving average, which is the blue line. The reason for the drop is AT&T and Verizon have both reported that they have activated a lot less iPhones over the last quarter. The iPhone number is the big number for Apple. This is the number that basically says they're doing really, really well. They're making huge gross profit margins on the iPhone, more so than some of their other products. So, how many iPads they sell and how many iPods and the number of iTunes downloads are really not as important as that iPhone metric. They want to sell as many possible iPhones as they can. And recently, in the AT&T earnings report, they said they only activated 4.3 million iPhones compared to 7.6 million last quarter. So that's a huge drop. Now, mind you, the 7.6 million was during the Christmas holiday shopping season, but still, a drop from 7.6 to 4.3 is enormous. And if you think all those users are heading over to Verizon, well, you're wrong, because Verizon is the same. Verizon activated about 4.2 million during the Christmas holiday quarter, and they dropped to 3.2 million during the current quarter. So both Verizon and AT&T have recently announced that things weren't as peachy as they have been in the past for the iPhone. I said a long time ago I thought that the iPhone 4S was not revolutionary. I had been waiting for a revolutionary iPhone, and I didn't get it. I don't want to talk to my iPhone with Siri. I don't want it to tell me what I have to do. I can do that myself. So I actually dumped my iPhone and got an Android. And I think a lot of people are doing this. And, you can argue here and there whether Android's better than iOS, but the statistics are showing that more people are going to Android phones, which is going to hurt Apple's market share. So what we need to know today about after the bell is what earnings per share growth are they going to produce? And I opened this chart on Y charts to show you how strong Apple has been in the last several years. After the credit crisis, I'm going to give you some numbers on the percentage growth of Apple earnings per share over the last few quarters. 46.8%, 86.3%, 74.6%, 75.2%, 92.19%, 121.9%, 52%, and 115.7%. So you're talking about being up 80, 90% earnings growth every single quarter. And the question is, can Apple continue to do that even with less iPhone sales? And honestly, the answer is probably no. Here's a chart of total assets, and this basically looks like the stock chart. Back in early 2009, total assets were around $42 billion, and now they're up to about $140 billion. So they've made a ton of money, but once again, we're not worried about the past. We're worried about the future. Where's Apple going to go? Something that definitely worries me about Apple and the overall stock market together is some of the market leaders are looking pretty ugly today. When I look at my stocks, which I've had market leaders for most of the year, I'm seeing a lot of red. Down 5.9, down 3.4, down 3.4, down 3.3, down 3.23. So some of the big names like Ulta and some of these names are down. This is the S&P chart, but this is not conviction to me. This is not that, oh, the stock market has bottomed, let's go. Waiting on the Apple earnings report to see. Here's Ulta. As you can see, Ulta has been a leader over the last 6 months, and it's just tanking today. 6% has to be the biggest down day for Ulta in multiple months and maybe multiple years, and really for no reason. I mean, just people selling off because the stock has gone so high. And it's not the only one. Lululemon's another one. This stock has done very well over the last, in the year. I actually called this to be the stock of 2012, and at one point it was up 50% or more this year. And as you can see, it's down 3.75% today. So this worries me. But as far as Apple, my prediction is I don't think they can continue to offer revolutionary products and beat out the competition. And no company can stay on top forever. Anybody who thinks a company can is just naive to how corporate America works. Has Apple topped and will never go up again? I don't know. It could go to $1,000 a share in the next 6 months. I could be completely wrong. I just honestly feel that they have hit the top. I feel that Steve Jobs' death is going to hurt innovation. And once again, I could be wrong. Take this advice for what it's worth. You're not paying a penny for it. I invest solely as a recreational activity. If you want any more information on my picks or any recreational advice I give, check out W Investing. And comment below with what you think Apple will do after the bell. And you can poke fun at me all you want if Apple blows out earnings and is up 5–10% after the bell.